last week we had some technical glitches where all of a sudden I dropped offline, but I didn't think it was going to save the recording, and it did, which I need to get that and a few others online. So it's been rather busy out here the last couple of weeks, but we'll catch up. One of the things I've been busy with is scanning a bunch of film. If we get really run out of time today, I've done a bunch of Carol's movies as a kid growing up. She was just as cute then as she is now.
The Carol show, that'd be good.
Yeah, right. And then
Except I didn't have a black eye.
Yeah, Carol, if anybody notices, Carol has a black eye. And
I don't think you can see on the small.
You can't see it.
She
you didn't hit her, did you?
No, she rolled
No,
out.
I fell out of bed when I was asleep, and I hit the night table, and I don't know.
God.
I'm okay. I had a CT scan. Was it yesterday or day before yesterday?
2 days ago, yeah.
And
we spent 6 hours at the hospital for that.
Yeah, and nothing bad except that I found out that I have some atrophy, which everybody has at my age.
So, but yeah, it's she takes some blood thinners, so they were worried about anything internal. They said, well, you don't need to do this, but if you don't do it, it could be this. Okay, all right, we'll go do it. So, but I did get some scanning in. For some reason, a whole bunch of the movies ended up being from 1958, and just by coincidence. And I don't think the first one I have lined up here is actually from 58. We'll find out. But on some of this, because all of you folks are widely across the country, I'm going to see if we can help identify some of these spots, because in some cases, the entire reel will say be Disneyland or, whatever. Other cases, they start someplace and end up someplace else. And it's kind of fun to figure out where some of these things are. So let me go to the share screen here. And one of them does have sound, so I will add that and share. Okay, here we go. So this very first one is Disneyland. Let me actually just pull up something real quick. I'm not sure what year this is. We'll figure it out. But if anybody recognizes where we're going before we get to Disneyland, please do let me know.
Golfing somewhere.
Now, golf course.
Somebody tells me, listen, that's the 18th hole at the Rama Rama golf course. I'll be real impressed.
Looks like the Rockies.
Yeah, it's hard to know what lake that is. Now we got a bunch of cabins out here.
Huh. I wonder if this is the that looks like one of those honeymoon retreats that they used to have in the Poconos.
No, this is actually labeled, I have the can here someplace, Hot Springs.
Oh.
Hot Springs.
Yeah.
Interesting. Long day, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Hot Springs are Arkansas.
I don't think Arkansas has mountains like that.
Yeah, it looks more like the Rockies of the Sierras, and there's no resorts like that in the Sierras that big. So I would say it's like Colorado or possibly Wyoming.
Yeah, see if I can find the can here somewhere. There's so many films stacked around here. Not that file.
Could it be Utah?
Yeah, it could be Utah also.
Yeah, it could.
And as Bill gets up, he trips over the many reels of film that are sitting on the floor, and he falls down, whacks his head firmly on the edge of the table, and passes out. In the meantime, the film rolls on and on and on, and then just begins to spool into emptiness like it's doing right now.
Well, yeah, hopefully that won't happen. What was scary about with Carol hitting her head is about 2 years ago, I went out to water the trees in front of the house, and I was hopping, skipping, in a good mood coming up the stairs, and caught my toe on one of the stairs, face planted into a block wall, broke my glasses, and really did a number on myself. But being a moron, I didn't think, oh, I should go to the hospital and check out the fact that I smashed my face into a concrete wall. So just for advice for any of you, if you do smack your head, it's probably a good idea to have it checked.
Did you hurt yourself?
That day, yeah. I mean, like I said, I broke my glasses. My entire face was shredded from sliding against the concrete. The nice thing was when I went into the station to go on patrol the next day, somebody said, what the hell did you do? And I said, oh man, he fought me like hell, but I finally got him in the car. The funny thing is some people thought I was serious about it. Now with these amateur shots, obviously sometimes people, the exposure goes way the hell off on them. So this guy's flying a kite somewhere. And not well. But the way I looked at it, I needed new glasses anyway, so. In that particular one, I had my cell phone in my pocket, and I called Carol and said, would you come out here and get me and bring something for all the blood? Well, then this was labeled somebody's first communion, and you can see they didn't bother addressing this for light at all. It's very short though, so I'll just let it play out. It's a shame you think that, they have all these great memories and things, and then they, ruin it. Now with video, of course, you can go back and just say, oh, let's go grab, or you can tell as you're doing it whether or not you can see stuff. Let me just jump off some of this here. This was labeled a second hot spring, so I don't know what you call it. I saw your note, Beth. I'll check on that. Trying to figure out where the hell I put the reel.
It looks like there were several resorts in the 50s with hot springs in the name. It's definitely not Hot Springs, Arkansas. I've been there many times. It's not that. So if this is listed as second hot springs, it could be one of the other resorts.
Well, that's a southwestern architecture there. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
guessing
that first one was this Gilman Hot Springs in California, but I'm not sure about the second one.
Is
yeah,
this
there are
one of the
cactus there.
missions?
That rules out Colorado.
Yeah, this might be Southern California. They may be getting close to Disneyland now.
Yeah.
And this could be one of the missions.
It is. They said on the can, said Hot Springs, Missions, Disneyland.
Oh,
Yeah.
There
Is
was
that
a
San Fernando?
I don't think that's San Fernando.
No,
I
it's not.
live
It's
right
not.
near there. And,
There's one near Buellton.
Oh, this is where
Santa
is that? I've
Barbara?
seen that. Santa Barbara. Yeah, I think it's the
Yeah.
Santa. This one is anyway.
It's probably all the same with the previous
Yeah.
frames.
Yeah, we've been to the one in Santa Barbara. It's a nice visit.
Well, all those missions, all the courtyards basically look the same. They're all like a square courtyard with the adobo and the.
Then they go to some wineries. So I don't know if anybody knows that symbol of the winery. Let's see if I can pause that real quick. Juno.
Yeah.
I like the speakers cleverly disguised in the arch there.
Oh yeah, that's you never know they were there. That's like Imagineering quality, huh?
Yeah.
Look at those funny rocks. Italian.
Yeah, I wonder if it's Giulio Gallo or something.
I did a screenshot of that, and it says it's the Swiss Colony Winery in Asti, California.
Oh, okay.
Bravo.
It's the largest wine vat in the world. That's what that big
Wow.
picture was. I mean, the
Ah.
stone.
That's
Okay, what year is that car? I'm
that's some
assuming
high level
well,
Google foo there, Eric.
I wonder if you
Well,
saw
we
it.
had stopped at the if I was quick enough, I was gonna screenshot. I think Beth might have done this too, but those structures in the previous hot springs thing to see if Google would have found it as well.
Yeah, we'll need to go back before we finish and let you get a screenshot because I'm curious.
This looks like it could be Crater Lake.
Crater Lake, that's what I'm thinking too.
That's what I was thinking. And we finally get to Disneyland, and he said, "Oh, could you have adjusted this any worse?"
Wow.
So I'm running the scanner now with the lowest light level that it can run on, and with the darkness dialed all the way down. This is what you got. But there's some better footage coming along, so it gets a little bit better here.
So 1967.
Yeah, this is 67.
So the year after after year Pirates opened.
So we got the clock at night here. So it looks like they got here late in the day because they got some shots here, and then we go back to after that we have the following morning. We'll see the ticket stands and some other odds and ends.
67 was the first year I went to Disney.
We'll look for you. Monorail station. Again, very, very dark. Submarine going past. But it does get better, so just bear with me. Oh, here they're visiting their neighbors or whatever. I don't know if we need to see that. Okay, here. Go back here. Okay. The neighbor stuff didn't last very long, so. So prices for a guided tour, $7.50 or something. Okay. Oh, that was me rewinding it to try to adjust the light a bit better.
Wow. Deja vu.
Yeah. Now you can see the poor pig is outside the train station. At one point, somebody decides to give him quite a belt in the snout. See? And here we go, parade down Main Street. A little bit different than the big parades they have now. And the flying saucer is actually working. So many people are
Wow.
getting some good rides out of them.
Yeah, things are moving around. That never happened.
Yeah.
No beach balls either.
Mom comes in for the kill and she nails them again. Off to the treehouse.
Pirates had just opened that year.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was open yet when they did these.
Hey, there's Wayne. Didn't look open. The doors to Pirates look shut. So
Yeah, it opened, I think, in May or June. So,
yeah, I have no idea when like the new Tomorrowland opened or what month or anything.
Well, I was there in May before I worked at Disney. I was there in May of '67 with my dad's company picnic at the place. So they take over the whole place for the night.
Yeah,
And we got to ride it because they were doing they were test riding it, soft opening.
yeah.
So
Right.
either it opened I'm trying to think, I want to say we were usually in the first week or two of May is when that company picnic, because they did it there for about 4 or 5 years. So
In Holiday Land. That's what I
no,
used to
no,
have
you
those
had the whole
picnics.
no,
park.
this was the whole park. It was
Oh,
Southern
okay.
California Gas Company, and they were big enough that they got the whole park to themselves. It wasn't that
Okay.
crowded. It was really nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, those nights were really very great. They would close everybody out at 6 o'clock, push everybody out, empty out the park, and then the picnic or party would start at 8 or something and go to midnight or 1. So you had 4 hours of the park, and it was really cheap too. The average ticket. But as Brock said, that it was really pretty empty.
No, well, we were in that test ride, we were able to just run around and get right back on it. We went through it like 5 times in a row because we were so amazed by what we were seeing in it, because nothing like it had ever been open before.
Yeah,
Right.
it was the very first of its kind.
Yeah.
So after they left Disneyland, they go to Marineland.
Say, does anybody know if they do anything for the handicapped at the tree? I don't remember anything like that in '67, but
Yeah, I wasn't there then, so I'd only be guessing.
I don't think the trees ever, by the nature of it, there's no way you could make it handicap accessible. And
The treehouse, no. Even today, that's one of the grandfathered in things.
Hey, Bill, is your software the one that saves it as MKV, or is that what you choose?
What's that? Oh, this is the software I use here. It turns out an NKV file. You can do a variety of different formats. I picked this one because it works well with the next editor, which I use at taking out the splices and all that stuff.
Okay.
So you get rendered as a MP4 and AVI. I just try to find something that is space efficient. Like this particular reel is, I think the first half we saw was 2.8 gigs. So I mean, I scan very high resolution for an 8mm film. So I'm not too worried if there's a little bit of loss in dealing with it, because if I do that as a non-compressed AVI, it comes out to about 32 gigs. And I just don't have that amount of space. And also the editor just slows down with big things. So we're up at the top of the tower now, and you can get a pretty good idea of how big the Marineland complex was. Number of different stadiums and tanks and things that they had. And again, for folks not familiar with it, this is Rancho Palos Verdes. And it's a giant resort out there now.
wasn't Marineland the first ocean park to have a whale of any kind? Wasn't a killer whale. I believe theirs was a pilot whale.
I don't know, because there was a Marineland here and there's a Marineland of Florida, and I'm not sure which one came first.
This one came first.
This one did, okay.
Marineland of the Pacific was the first one, yeah.
Okay.
But I believe they were the first one, and they built one. I think the round tank was built specifically for the whale when they got it. That's the
Right.
whale there. They obviously
this is-
changed their sign.
Yeah, this is a souvenir film which turned bright red. This has gotten a little bit better, but it still needs a lot more work, so I'll be playing with it. But yeah, that sign was pretty neat. Matter of fact, some of the small killer whales have survived when the place came down.
Yeah, well, I say the first whale wasn't a killer whale. Those
Right.
came later because they found they were very trainable, similar to relatively trainable, similar to the seals and dolphin.
Yeah, I enjoyed Marineland. I'm sorry it's gone.
It was a very pretty park. It was it was small, so it never. I think people knew it, and they never got that crowded. As far as you never felt like you were
No,
in a mass of people.
what I got a kick out of was going over to the edge of it, and looking down at all the seals that were on the rocks, thinking about I felt bad for the seals like this guy here could probably hear all the free neighbors out on the other side of the wall.
Look at how empty it is in the background.
Oh,
There's
it's still a lot
no
of,
homes. It's all homes now.
well,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of emptiness out there because of that landslide situation.
Yeah, well,
bet
they built homes over rocky land that
Yeah.
slipped. Yeah,
Yeah, I bet a bunch of those people that bought out there really
Yeah.
regret
I'm
that
sure
now.
they regret it.
For the folks that don't know it, this whole area is called Portuguese Bend, and the road and everything has to be repaved about 3 times a
Yeah.
year.
You go along there and they have to redo it, and it's hard to drive, and yeah.
Yeah, the utilities lie above ground on pipes with flexible connections because they kept breaking the water mains and everything else. And they about 3 years ago now, they had a major move that really created all sorts of havoc, and they haven't figured out how to stabilize it. Because one guy says, "Oh, if you do this, we'll stabilize it." The other guy says, "No, if you do that, it'll make it worse." And some people have moved out of their houses. Others just live with generators, still providing electricity, bringing in bottled water because they refuse to give up.
They paid
It's
a
a
lot of
very-
money. You can't get a home up there under $1 million. I mean, it's more than $1 million, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, the problem they have now is they can't sell that home because nobody will
No.
buy it because it's the only thing they have. They're just going to hang on until they die.
Even the
And,
land isn't any good because eventually it's going to go in the ocean.
yeah, there's nothing that's going to solve the problem. Mother Nature will win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad because it's a nice area.
It's a beautiful area. I live right nearby. I used to work up there.
Yeah. Used to be a giant Nike base up there.
Yeah.
I looked it up, and they're now advertising that the ground level is wheelchair accessible.
Oh, on the tree?
Yeah,
Yeah, the ground level, yeah, it was, but up high up in the tree, I don't think it's ever
No.
been accessible.
no, but they say that the ground level has things that are similar to what you could see above.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite volatile out there. There's another thing we'll see in one of these films if we get to it today, called Wayfarer's Chapel. And
Oh yeah, they had to tear that down.
yeah, so I
They're
guess
putting it up somewhere else. I don't know
Yeah.
where.
now we're gonna get into 1958. So we get some family films, and then here we are at Disneyland. So it's only a few years old at this point in time. You know, I get a kick out of looking at these older films when you realize, again, the place is 3 years old and there's so much there, but it's so different than anything else that was around. Some attractions like the Satellite View of America didn't last very long. But when you just see what they did do, it's a remarkable testament to Walt that he saw that this would be a success and, convinced Roy to do it. By the way, I tried cleaning this film, and all this dirt and grime and stuff is so embedded in it. Maybe if I had an ultrasonic cleaner, I could get it out, but, chemically cleaning it, and this has been digitally cleaned to one extent. I'll do another pass on that, but, you know, the family probably watched this movie over and over and over. We're at Holiday Hill. That's where the Matterhorn is today. That was all the dirt pulled up from excavating all the other things. That's pretty impressive when you think that 5 years ago, this was all orange groves.
Yep.
Well, Bill, here's where you start your foundation to solicit philanthropists to clean film.
Yeah, I've told people there's a really nice, what you call it, piece of software for $10,000 that would take out all sorts of scratches and stuff. So far, nobody has kicked off the fund, but if you would like to make a small, say, $1,000 donation to get things started, I can give you an address.
Okay,
Ah,
check
nice
them out.
silence.
Offer to put our names in the credits.
Yeah, I'll be glad. You send me $1,000, Brock. I'll put your name there in big letters. And thanks to the suckers who made this possible.
Just received them.
You know what? The way the world is, you run this software, you clean it up, and somebody will say, "Oh, it doesn't look authentic. I like it with the scratches." I get so annoyed when we're watching something on television, and they'll, try to simulate the look of old film and add, random computerized scratches and stuff. And
Amen.
it was shot last week, but why do we need to make it look old and tacky?
No, on that note, what the worst thing is what they've done the last few years is during live events on television, like halftime at Super Bowl and even the halftime during FIFA last month, is that instead of shooting it normally at the camera's frame rate of 30 frames a second, they dumb it down to 24 frames a second to make it feel like it's a film, and it's just so inauthentic. It's just horrible.
I know, it drives me nuts when you see that stuff. And there goes the stagecoach. And the gunfighters outside the Golden Horseshoe.
Walt got that gunfire from Knott's Berry Farm. He copied Walter Knott on that. It didn't last very long. I think it was only out there a couple of years and they gave it up. But
yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of borrowing.
Yeah, well, he went out to Knott's, looked around, kept on filming stuff and staring at the train. I'm sure some of what Walter Knott did really inspired him in other directions. But Walter Knott, on the other hand, he was quite emphatic. I saw him on a game show, and he says, "I have a ghost town. It's a hobby." So he didn't think this was going to blow up into anything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, it was originally built so people have something to do while waiting for the pies and the chicken.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In one of the movies here, people go to visit Tombstone, Arizona and stuff, and there's the Birdcage Theater, and I said, "Oh my goodness, it looks just like the one at Knott's." You realize Knott's copied it.
Knott's copied one in Arizona.
Yeah. So Golden Horseshoe, but very, very, very dark.
This is the Golden Horseshoe?
Yeah, you can see the stage lights there.
You can't see anything.
A little bit of the can dancers right now.
Huh.
Like I said, I'll try some more on it, but I think it's going to go into the digital scrap bin.
That was a great shot.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't have time to, cut
Oh.
out some of these things.
Nothing to apologize about. Back in the days when you could crawl all over Tom Sawyer Island.
Yep, and this rotating rock can't do that now. Can't go to the
Mhm.
fort now.
Mhm.
Hey, you're going the wrong way.
Oh, Bill, that couldn't be. Could you back up, Bill? I'm sorry, just a little.
Yeah, hang on 1 second.
So I apologize, folks. I need to check something here.
Sure, 1 second.
Okay, yeah, just beyond this. Okay. No, okay. Thank you. I just wanted to check something. Yeah, I can see one. The two people, the boy in the blue shirt and the girl in the red shorts,
Yeah.
are dead ringers for me and my sister at that age.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Were you
I mean,
there
dead
at
ringers.
the
No, my
wedding?
parents are not in here. At least I don't think so. The guy in the white pants could have been my dad too, but I don't think he ever went out. I don't remember him going with someone who wasn't my mother. So,
That would be really wild.
well, we were in Disneyland in '67 prior to Pirates opening.
Well, this is 58.
Oh, 58. Oh no, it definitely wasn't me and my sister because my sister
Oh,
would have
okay.
been negative few months and I wasn't born yet. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I missed the date change. Sorry about that.
Were
Oh,
you
no
were
problem.
you, were you conceived at that age, or were you?
My
unborn?
sister was, but I was not.
Okay.
My sister was born in 58. I was born in 61.
Okay.
You
Well, we just get that straight.
punk kids.
Time travel might have been an option, but I was awfully young to be using it yet. Original
Well,
core.
they were your doppelgangers from an
True.
alternate dimension.
True.
Here's a Utopia real quick.
Oh, cool. You don't see much of that these days.
Now, I've got some nice still shots of it, but it doesn't show up a lot in the films. Very dark going into Alice.
The motorboat looks like, what is that?
Jumping up. Oh, okay. So we've left Disneyland, and let's see if we recognize anywhere people are going now.
Looks like it's the desert.
Ah,
Oh, wait a
Knott's.
minute. Does that say Knott's?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Knott's Kitchen Delicacy. So they went for some ride in the desert. Now we end up over at Knott's. Back when they had a animal farm there.
Seal farm. Seals.
Well, they also had a barn with.
Oh yeah, they had a
yeah.
petting zoo.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
They must have been there for Easter vacation. Those were Easter seals.
Oh,
Oh,
I was gonna say if I liked it, I'd give it the seal of approval.
Oh, but
Oh.
we're here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Yeah.
I thought it had something to do with good housekeeping.
Oh, yes.
Don, I would tell you what I think, but my lips are sealed. The only
Oh,
active
there's the
volcano.
volcano.
Yeah.
They should have kept that.
Chicken dinner restaurant.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, well, that was what the sign said earlier.
Yeah,
The original roadside, yeah.
there's an old car. That's the original stand.
Boysenberries, I believe. I tend not to mention.
Are these filmed from the same particular source, Bill?
3 of the 58 reels are, yes.
Okay.
You
I'm
see the
looking
same
at-
pregnant woman in them.
Okay, I'm looking at the camera gate on these films.
That's one of their prospectors.
You know, this one's pretty interesting. It's got that notch on the top right side, which we saw in a
Right
previous.
stage.
Yeah, I know there's 3 reels that came from the same same family. So they had a very nice summer vacation that year. You see the passing traffic just outside the park. For folks that are not out this way, if you do come to California, Knott's is a real good visit. You know, it's no Disneyland, but it's pretty good. Oh, and here for the alligator farm, which used to be in the general area.
That used to be right across the street from Knott's.
Was it just across? Okay. I
Yeah.
knew it was at Buena Park, but I didn't know it was that close.
Is that at the
It's probably
alligator
still
farm?
around.
Oh, maybe
What's
that
that?
was. Oh, maybe that was the petting zoo.
There was a tortoise there. And
Yeah.
There's an alligator. See the tail.
Oh yeah. I've seen
Well,
a
that
picture
last
where
picture was a whole bunch of them lined up along the shoreline.
yeah,
Yeah.
and a little teeny tiny girl standing there, you know, and all these alligators are lined up salivating.
Yeah. So here's the Wayfarers Chapel again. This was a very nice area out along the ocean, but the ground underneath it moved and all the glass started popping out of the panes. So they've taken it down piece by piece in storage to recreate it at another place when they raise the funds for it.
Yeah, my parents always called it the glass church.
Oh. And that's the end of that reel. Let's see. Now I'm just going down these kind of randomly. We're going to hop all the way up to Expo 67. So we're on our way. Oh, looks like it's winter time in this shot. You know, it's Chevy Impala.
The cat eye.
Yeah.
Is that ice on the water?
Yeah.
It is.
It
Yeah.
looked like it, yeah.
Yes, ice on the St. Lawrence
Must be
Seaway.
very early spring.
Yeah. There's Expo with still snow all over the ground. I'm trying to figure out exactly what year this is because I didn't see the Union Jack up on top of the Great Britain Pavilion, and that was just shots of that driving by. So I'll have to figure out the year on that. More Expo 67. This one they actually go to it. Whoops. They had all sorts of boats that you could go by, Viking long ships like you've seen here, which were motorized. They didn't rely on the wind, but you could take tours up and down the seaway around the Expo site. They had Italian gondolas. They had all sorts of things. If anybody knows for sure which interior, which pavilions we're looking at, please feel free to add in.
That's a sitar, isn't it? That was in the case there?
Looked like it.
Looked like it, yeah.
Yeah. I would guess would be Indian pavilion, maybe. Looks like the architecture looks Indian.
Yeah, that I'm trying to figure out was one of the Arab nations. I was trying to figure if the other instrument was from there as well.
Hmm.
The street lights, again, those are the lights were in the tubes that bounced up off the disc at the top. Kind of neat way of doing it. Then he went inside of something.
And it disappeared.
Come on, guys. More instruments. I'm trying to think if that was Morocco. The other.
It's the bride from the Haunted Mansion.
King Tut.
I'm assuming that's a replica.
But we're probably in the UAE Egyptian pavilion. Then a bunch of it at night, which is really dark. Let me skip around some of that. I'll just back this up a little, see again if we know what pavilion is going in. Because I see a map back there that said India and Thailand. Burma. I think this is Burma.
Ah. I panicked.
It's not the greatest of footage, but since no other interior footage has shown up, I'll take it. And there's the exterior.
Yep. Yep. See a little bit of Burma there.
Just jumping up here. I think the rest of this is all pretty dark. All right, let me get the next one. Looking at one of the gardens.
Can I ask what state this was in?
This was Montreal. Expo
Montreal.
67. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So we're taking a ride either on the train or the Expo Express or the mini rail. I'm not sure in this particular one.
Were the trains elevated?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is the mini rail. I just caught a glimpse of the the frame for the roof.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I knew the mini rail were elevated, but I didn't know the trains were.
Yeah, trains were too. Bridge is still there without the guy wires.
Hold on, wait, that was a suspension bridge. How did they have it without the guide wires?
They actually found out the guy wires were causing more damage than not, that they had put them in thinking they needed it. But the winds that come down the St. Lawrence River through the seaway were causing the cables to vibrate, which were causing lifting and damage to the bridge deck. So they realized that the bridge deck itself was strong enough that by taking the cables out, they prolonged the life of the bridge. It is strange when you go back there though, because the pylons are still there. They're supporting structures. There's the train. So in this particular area, it's coming in on the ground. There's Ceylon. But yeah, it's when you got so used to seeing it with the cables, here's Germany. It's just kind of strange to see without, but it's still there. Nice summer day. Everybody's dressed real lightly. You see what it changed though. Things have happened just 3 years since the 64 World's Fair. People aren't wearing suits. Men aren't wearing hats.
And not many nuns.
Oh, yeah. So they'll show up. I'm not sure in this one, but they do show up. You can see the door locking mechanism for the mini rail there. Quite a line for Great Britain. Very popular pavilion. Radar going up ahead so they could watch the weather. Trinidad. Steel drums outside. There's Indians of Canada and the United Nations with all the flags. This film was really very cyan in color. I don't know why it was that way, but it corrected pretty well. There's Habitat. United Nations. Some of the Canada building structures are still here, not the giant inverted pyramid. Okay. Oh, how would everybody like a silly one with sound for a change? So in this
Wow.
particular, is anybody familiar with a company called Anaforms? Anaforms came up with a way to do animation that looked like animation, but was actually puppetry done with rods that would make the characters move and talk. So
That was
somebody
like Tom
online,
Terrific and a few of the others.
it's sort of like that, yeah. And they somebody online on a cartoon research group said, I've got this film, this can of film from Anaforms, and I don't know what's on it. So here, without further ado, we're going to see a very educational moment here. This was bright red. I'm glad I was able to get some of the colors back.
Late. You know, Bill gets later every morning. I wish he'd realize that there's one member of this carpool that has to be to work on time.
Oh, come on, Jim. It's not that bad.
Bad enough. I guess you guys who work for the telephone company, you don't have to worry about your hours. Well, I do. I've got customers to think about, and the competition, too.
Oh, come on, Jim. The phone company expects us to be on time just like your company does. And we got plenty of competition, too, you know.
You must be kidding. What competition do you have?
Lots of it. All other forms of communication. Telegrams, wire services, and don't forget the good old U.S. mail. And that's just services. Jim, we're competing for expendable dollars just like every other company. We're really pretty competitive. That's why I'm excited about my new job.
New job? What new job?
Well, I've been promoted to ad manager.
Ad manager at the telephone company?
Yeah.
That sounds ridiculous. I'm an ad manager, but I've got a product that needs advertising. Johnson Calculators.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a product that adds up.
Oh.
Hey, oh, listen.
Yeah,
Hey, that's catchy.
Yeah, you're really
I
a
have to
card.
remember that one for the boys in the executive dining room. Ad manager for the telephone company. Now, really, Frank.
Well, it's an important job, Jim. No kidding.
Well, what's there to it? You just keep an orderly line when the customers come in to get their telephone.
Oh, come on, Jim. There's more to it than that. In fact, there isn't a heck of a lot of difference between advertising your calculators and my telephone.
What are you saying? I've got over 40 competitors to sell against.
40 competitors, huh? Listen, you can scoff, Jim, old buddy, but I can prove my needs to advertisers just as valuable as yours.
Oh, this I gotta hear. But save it. Here comes Bill. And only 10 minutes late.
Hey, Bill, what do you say? Late
give us a
again,
break?
huh?
You're gonna show up today?
Yeah.
That's the idea. All right, Frank, tell me how you can possibly compare advertising a highly competitive product like calculators and business machines with telephones, which have their field to themselves.
Okay, James. Let's take it a step at a time. Now, what would you say is the prime reason your company advertises?
Well, to increase the company's revenue through greater sales, of course.
Well, of course. And we have the same primary objective: increase revenue through increased sales. Long-distance telephoning, for example. Now, we have to continue to inform and remind people, business people especially, of the advantages and economy of using direct distance dialing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Also, we have to impress customers that General Telephone has a wide variety of products and capabilities, and the equipment service know-how to satisfy business customers' communications needs.
All right.
Then we try to increase our revenues by selling extra services like residential extension telephones. See?
Well, that comes automatically.
Oh, no, it doesn't. People have to be constantly reminded that the telephone is the fastest and an inexpensive way to communicate.
Yeah, but people have no choice. They have to telephone.
They do, huh?
Of course they do.
Listen, Jim, did you write any letters to customers, clients, suppliers, anybody yesterday?
Well, certainly. I write 6, 8 letters a day, sometimes more.
Did you know, Jim, that a respectable time and motion management organization has determined that the average business letter costs the company over $3?
Yeah, sure.
And that's the letter. Most long-distance calls can be made for a lot less money than that, and you get your answer or message across immediately.
Telephone cheaper than mail?
Right. Now, I'm sure your calculators have a money-saving feature, right?
I bet they do.
Well, and what do you do about it?
Well, we let people know about it. Well, it's a big part of our ad campaign.
And a big part of ours, too.
Well, it's not the same thing. I mean, everybody knows what a telephone can do, but you have to sell calculators.
Well, that's just the point, Jim. Not everybody knows what the telephone company can do, or what type telephones we've got even. We're constantly faced with the task of informing people that we are a total communications company, and we can provide any communication requirements they may have, that we give complete repair service and do a host of other things in the community as well. Hey, watch yourself, Jim.
Hey, you idiot!
That guy must have forgotten to call ahead. Now, there's a good example of why we have to advertise.
I tell you, Frank, you don't have nearly the problems we do. Now you take the future. Why, we're beefing up for the future all the time. Preparing for it, because our machines become obsolete as new technologies are introduced. But I don't see how the future affects the telephone, or why you need to let people know about it.
Well, that's because you can't see beyond the end of your nose, Jim.
Come on now.
Really? Now, let me tell you, nobody is doing more to prepare for the future and let customers know about it than the telephone company. The advances made just in recent years in touch calling systems and direct distance dialing has added tremendous speed and convenience to our services, and we think the public deserves to know about it. See, Jim, whatever you have to do to preserve a good company image, we got to do better. And for the very reason that we are the only telephone company in town. We've got to account to everybody, from the customer to the government. So we've got to put our best foot forward all the time and let people know what we're doing and what we're selling as often and as forcefully as we can.
Yeah, well, maybe you do have some of the same problems, but, well, we had a run of calculators that added when they should have subtracted. We had to call them all back, then run an ad apologizing for it.
Well, we had a computer which added zeros to everybody's bill.
Wow.
Now, if you don't think that didn't send us flying into print with an explanation and an apology.
Yeah,
I mean, not only that, but we compete against guys like you who've never stopped to consider if a cost factor existed between a letter and a telephone call.
You mean against guys who still believe that it takes a day to get an overseas call put through?
Yeah, that's right.
Against other people who don't know about rate changes that make long-distance calls at night cheaper than daytime calls.
Yeah, now you're talking.
And how really inexpensive telephoning is in general. I'm beginning to get the picture.
Yeah, then too, you know, there's our communications consultant service that really helps businesses plan the right telephone system for their particular operation. And for people at home, our residential program, which shows people how phone extensions can make life easier and happier in the home.
That makes a lot of sense at that. All right. I'm a believer.
Well, that's good.
Your job is as tough as mine.
Sure.
Hey, have a good day, Frank. Oh, Frank, don't forget about the bridge game tonight with our wives.
Oh, don't worry. Jane and I will be there.
I think we could beat you if you could just get Carr to stay at the table instead of jumping up and running into the other room every couple of minutes to answer the phone. That woman couldn't live without a telephone.
Hey, that gives me an idea for my first ad. The perfect excuse for a phone extension. And I think I'll add a little thank you note to people who couldn't live without a telephone. Listen, I'll see you, Jim. Okay? Bye.
Couldn't live without a telephone, huh?
I don't have the exact year for that, but it was in the 70s. But it's a very interesting form of animation. If you go online to Wikipedia, they have a whole thing on aniforms.
Yep. Yeah, the Captain Kangaroo had a character named Fred that used this process.
Yes. Yeah, they use the same technique on that character. You're right. And people were online, once I posted it and people would see it, they said, oh yeah, they would go to trade shows. And that's what the company did a lot, was they'd be talking to some trade animated character on a screen, and all of a sudden the character would turn around and say, hey, you in the blue shirt. Yeah, the one scratching his head. And they were amazed that this animated character would be talking to them, but the guy was puppeteering it backstage and, you know, watching it. So it was kind of a unique thing. Let me just look up this next one here real quick. This one, we're going to go in 1958 again. We're going to go to Texas. And this one was labeled, has sound, but I haven't added the sound to it yet. But we start in San Antonio.
After hemispheres, or at least during hemispheres.
So it's not 1958, it's real 58, sorry. But we get, we get to see all sorts of San Antonio here. Anybody want to guesstimate a year from the cars?
Some of those cars look like 70s cars.
Yeah.
Could be.
When was Hemisphere again?
68,
68.
yeah. And that's
I
definitely.
was going to say late 60s for sure on some of those cars.
So up at the top of the tower there, looking across, that hotel was built for Hemisphere in the same style that the Contemporaries built. Prefabricated rooms slid into a structure. Another U.S. Steel project.
They eventually gave up on that.
Yeah, I found out it wasn't any cheaper.
Well, the building would shift and all the rooms would lock in place.
Yeah. This can't be too late after Expo, because you're going to see coming ahead the freeway right here. That was the main freeway, which that big wide empty spot there was used as the main parking lot for Expo. So they still haven't converted it, put it back into finish the highway through there. Well, we go downtown San Antonio.
Wonder if we'll get the mandatory Alamo shot.
Yes, we will visit the Alamo. There's
You
a
gotta
sign
do
up
that.
ahead. Yeah.
Speak of the devil.
There we go. If anybody has not been to the Alamo, it's right smack dab in the middle of the city. So literally, if you turned around in the opposite direction, you'd be seeing, you know, downtown San Antonio. And I'll have to look this one up, the Union Pacific 794. If anybody's so inclined, they can tell us when that was retired. Did anybody get to see Big Boy when it was taking its tour across the country this year?
Well,
I didn't see it running. I've seen one, but never running.
Yeah. San Antonio Airport.
What was the number on that Union Pacific?
794.
794?
Continental Airlines, no longer with us. Lockheed TriStar.
yeah, I was gonna say that's the TriStar.
Carol and I were on a dive trip to the Grand Caymans years ago, and one of the guys that was with us was an engineer on the TriStar, and he turned out to be one of the biggest weirdo, dorky, stupid guys we've ever met. And after that, I never wanted to fly in a TriStar again. It's too bad Randy's not with us because we get some really nice shots of Braniff in a variety of different colors. Look
Man,
how
look
much
at that
smoke that thing is
exhaust.
pouring out.
Yeah. We didn't think anything of it.
Yep, the Continental jet I looked at before, which I think is the same one taking off, was a 727. And back then, that's just the way they flew. Look at it. I mean, the smoke has to dissipate. Talk about a gross polluter. Wow.
Yeah. I can remember standing on the observation deck of the San Jose airport, and the jets would turn to leave and they'd bring up the throttle and they'd blast you with that exhaust.
Yeah.
And we thought that was great. We'd stand there and wait for it.
Yeah, it's the smell of kerosene, right?
But we just love the force of the exhaust. But
I think I read somewhere that the improvement in the smoke is partly less pollution, but also partly that they developed the engines to produce smaller particles that you can't see.
hide the damage, as it were.
I don't think I ever flew Braniff.
Oh, it was a great airline. I flew
Yeah,
them all the time in the 80s.
They had all the cutting edge, costumes for the flight attendants. Well, if we go on a trip to the airport, now we're in San Antonio. Still at the airport, but now they put the name up on it. The red zone is for the immediate loading and unloading of passengers only. No, Jane. You got the great moment in an airplane where they get into the argument about what the red zone means.
Say what you want. Say what you mean. You want me to get an abortion, don't you? Don't you?
Yeah.
That was great. That movie still makes me laugh. I've seen some.
Still has those funny moments in it. Well, we were lucky. We went and saw it, I think, the second night that it was out. So, we got to work on Monday. A lot of people were talking about it, but, we didn't have anybody spoiling it for us with the jokes because we had just seen it. Everybody looks down and says, "That's my house. Let me know."
It was on television the other night. I watched it.
Surely you didn't watch it on TV.
And don't call me Shirley.
This man's sick. We've got to get him to the hospital right away. What is it, doctor? It's a big building full of beds, but that's not important.
I've adopted one thing from that. When I go to the doctor and the nurse says the doctor will see you shortly, I say, okay, but don't call me shortly.
Well, I always say, call me anything you want, but not late to dinner. So, Joe, do you like gladiator movies?
Yeah. Or I guess I picked the wrong time to stop sniffing glue.
Oh God, the number of
Yeah,
times, the number of times I've used that line.
I can make a brooch or a pterodactyl or a hat. It's been 30 years and that movie is still wonderful. We lost one of the Zucker and Abrams. One of them passed away last year. Can't remember which
Yeah,
one.
one of them did.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of this here.
That's probably just flying over Texas. Looks like
Flying
that.
over anywhere.
Yep.
Guy liked engines.
Yeah. Got some mountains. He might be flying back to California from Texas.
Could be. I forget what comes after this on this reel. Very arid looking wherever he is.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes me think he's flying west. It's a neat shot.
Something's sticking up through the clouds there. Remember when we flew our plane to Texas for an air show, just flying all over this emptiness for hour after hour after hour, and thinking, about, oh, we're an airplane built in 1944. I hope we, get over this just someplace where there's water. One thing I remember flying over somewhere, middle of nowhere, and this road went straight as an arrow for 100 miles. Came up to one house in the middle of nowhere, took a right angle, went around the house, and continued again. And I figured that guy must have had a lot of clout that he was able to get them to put the road around his place. I mentioned to my partner, he said, no, he probably pissed somebody off because every headlight would come through his windows from both directions. But it was right smack dab in the path of this road. They could have curved it around his house. Nope, went right up to his property, made a right turn, another right turn, another right turn, and continued. It was the weirdest piece of engineering.
That reminds me of some of the rural roads in Texas.
Could be. I'll see when he lands. Again, I scanned this week. I didn't remember, watching every minute of it, but we'll see if we see where he lands. Now it looks like he's out by water. Hey, Pratt.
Could be the Gulf.
Yeah.
There's a long bridge.
Bridge there.
I wonder if that's San Francisco Bay. That could be the. That's under construction. That's under construction.
Yeah.
Either that or you have to make a big jump there at the end.
Yeah, that's
Dukes
the
of
Evil
Hazzard
Knievel
special.
Bridge.
Yeah.
Now pull the camera up. Show us what we're looking. I don't see San Francisco anywhere.
No, it doesn't look like San Francisco.
Huh. I wonder where that was.
So we had planes and trains, and of course, we always enjoy automobiles. I think that's the end of that reel. I know he was artfully fading out there.
Yeah.
So
Houston.
now,
Okay, it's possible that bridge ran out to was running out to Galveston.
oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a big bridge like that near Galveston. And we have Houston and Del Rio. That would tell me that we're in that area. But no mountains near Galveston, so no.
That might have been on the way, coming from somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
I figure what possessed somebody to take pictures of a highway interchange?
Yeah. Look, there's clearance, 14 feet. Have to remember that.
Yeah.
El
Okay,
Paso.
Clarence.
When you
They're
consider
going to
what
Houston.
film costs. Maybe the guy was a highway engineer.
I was going to say he's probably a highway engineer, so he was busman's holiday.
Yeah.
Looks a lot like this now, except there are a whole lot more cars.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, the traffic on these highways in the Houston area. Oh my goodness. Horrible, horrible.
Max speed limit 50, min 40, right? You getting deja vu from your days in Texas, Don?
I'm sorry?
You getting deja vu from your days in Texas?
Didn't spend much time in this part of the state, but yeah, it looks Texasy. Whole lot of flat nothing in that part of the world.
All right. Do you recognize this?
Breckenridge. Okay, interesting. Okay, I know where this is. This is definitely Houston. I've been
Oh,
on this
okay.
choo-choo. If I'm right about that, this is the downtown park where the zoo and the science museums are. I'm gonna check it.
What is that, Herman Park?
Don,
Get off
have
the
you been
track.
to Paladuro?
I don't know. I'm looking here. Oh, this is Breckenridge Park is, yeah, so this is not Houston. This is San Antonio again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I've ridden this choo-choo too. I just didn't recognize it. I like kiddie trains.
We took so many rides on these trains at Griffith Park with our kids growing up.
Well, back.
Shades of the train from the 64 fair too.
The trains here or you rode them in 64. I'm trying.
What's that?
Which you referenced the trains from 64 fair? Where were those?
I said that this looks a lot like the trains from the 64 fair.
Hmm.
It's not the same train because that's out on Long Island, but same general look and feel.
Yeah,
Probably
was
bought
there
them.
one company that made all these? Because it looks exactly like the trains from Kittyland in the Chicago area.
Yeah, there were basically two companies from what I can tell, and one of them is still around making trains today. I think this one went under a number of years ago. The ones that make them today look like big steam locomotives, and they're a larger train than these were. Hey, he's gonna outrun the train.
They still run a train. I don't think it's this specific train, but they still run a train. Does the Breckenridge Eagle down there?
Here's one made to look like a steam train.
Trying to get a look at that. Oh,
I went
It's
to a
pulling
presentation last
quite a
week.
load.
Yeah.
That little train has some oomph. Pulls that many people.
Yeah.
I went to a presentation last weekend where they were talking about the kid train up in Los Gatos around my area and its relationship to Disneyland. I mean, and how Walt Disney came up and tried to convince the guy to bring his trains down there or a version of it. He said no, but he helped run the trains down there for a while.
Oh, I was gonna
The
say. I
Billy
bet he-
Jones Wildcat Railroad.
Oh, wow, that's neat. I bet he regrets not having done that and gotten a piece of the park.
Yeah, I don't know all the details. Yeah, Tom Morris was talking about it.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of Tom's films for him too, and it's funny how he said, oh, like there was one I did of Hawaii, and he goes, oh, I didn't remember that Mom and Dad were on that trip, but I guess that they were, because there they are. He also had some student films he was doing, which were some stop motion animation where he's sitting in the road and then goes driving down the road without the benefit of a car. Some of the typical things you see people do, but kind of fun stuff to restore that and be able to bring that back to life for him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, for sure.
When we both worked over at Imagineering, sometimes at the end of the day, we would talk about, why can't they just do things the right way, our way? I can still remember right where his drafting table was. At least for the guy that shot this, he didn't do any, 13-second shots or 2-second shots. He had some nice long ones there.
Well, show us the Jaguar. Come on. It's a nice sign, but show us the kitty. There they are.
Pacing themselves.
Yeah, well, it's Texas summer. They're not going to be out and about much.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're more nocturnal anyway for hunting.
That's why you always catch the first ride in Animal Kingdom on the safari, because they let the cheetahs out. But for about half an hour, they wander around and they collapse, and that's it for the rest of the day for the cheetahs.
Yes.
Anybody have a pet flip springer at home? I was watching this, I was wondering what makes the zebras untamable. They look so much like a horse, but you never see anybody able to ride a zebra, except I think in the Castaway Cowboy movie or something.
A lot of people like to cross a zebra with a horse, and you do get a horse that kind of resembles a zebra, but they are extremely hard to gentle. Some woman bought one of those, and after 2 years, she finally had gotten him so he would come up to her and take a treat, and she could kind of pet on him. Yeah. But I've seen nobody try to ride them. They're very difficult to train, even though they got part horse in them. It's really unfair. A lot of them end up in sanctuaries,
right?
Because you can't, unless you like the unique experience of having a part zebra in your backyard, you can't do anything with him, really. No. They're not real friendly.
What
so if you have any idea of crossing your horse with a zebra, forget it.
What
I knew you guys needed to know that.
This one is, we're going to take a trip to Expo 58.
I was just wondering what the airplane was, because it had a lightning logo on its tail.
Yeah, some British plane. I have to go.
Yeah, it's a British jet.
What's the
where
comment?
Yeah,
In between crashes.
That's what I was wondering. You don't see much footage of the comet.
Yeah, that's the one with the terrible safety record, isn't it?
Yes, it is. At least I think so.
actually, this one's got props.
This one here does, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a prop jet.
Yeah, so not a comet. Wonder what it is.
Yeah, it's
That's turboprop.
I was going to say Kim Darby wrote a zebra in Swiss Family Robinson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Well, maybe they did tame one. I don't know, but I don't ever see it.
Or
Actually,
either
maybe
that
it
or
was
they
makeup.
painted a white horse for the show, for the movie.
Yeah.
I was
No,
actually
I
wondering
think
if they
that
did
was a
that.
zebra.
That's the comet there, isn't it?
Think
Is it?
so.
Yeah.
Wow. Like I said, don't see much of those.
And I think BOAC was the only one that fly them, wasn't it?
Yep, there it says comment.
Yep.
Yeah.
They only flew for like a year or two. Wow, you do not see this often at all. Because I mean, they were, well, yeah, not very popular after their safety record went straight to. And the Haviland Comet.
I think this might be Shannon. I think they stopped for refueling stop.
Yeah, they only flew from 52 to 54. So this must be a really early.
Is this 16? Is
This is
this
16
16
millimeter,
millimeter?
yes. Yeah, dual perforation, 16 silent. It was funny, I don't remember how long I've had this film, but I went into the garage looking for something, opened a box and said, oh, a bunch of 16 I haven't seen before, so took it out. But we will get to Expo 58. So again, if anybody's a world traveler and they recognize any of these spots, feel free.
I did a screenshot thing, and that this is the Sandringham House. It's a retreat for the British royal family located in Norfolk, England.
Great.
Yeah, purchased by Queen Victoria in 1862. So this is just the AI overview. So I don't know. I didn't do a deep dive to see how much of that's correct, but I'm pretty sure that's the name of the place.
Oh, great, thank you. See if we can get a name of that yacht, that ship going out there. This is a great one. They were still running steam trains, obviously, although I guess they still are today with tourist railroads. But yes, welcome to England. So it's probably the border between there and Wales or something.
Going back to the plane, apparently I was wrong. The Comet flew a lot longer than I thought they did. Apparently the last flight was in 1971.
Oh,
I thought they'd stop much earlier than that, given that they tended to fall out of the air.
They replaced them square windows with round windows.
not sure which castle this is. Not sure this is Edinburgh.
I feel like I've seen that courtyard before.
It's saying it's Windsor Castle.
Windsor,
Right.
okay, for the round
Quick
one.
search. Yeah.
Busy day there. This is probably the Thames.
A lot of pleasure boats on the Thames.
And here we are in Piccadilly. This all looks a little fast to me. I'm gonna have to figure out what the proper speed of this thing should be. My office in London was right down the street from Piccadilly. It was a 5-minute walk. So I got a real kick out of seeing how this looked with all this signage and everything back then. Now we're at Brussels.
Super
So
cool.
there's the trams going through.
How long were you in London? Oh,
I made 99 trips to London so far for work.
okay. I lived
were
there
back
6
in-
months.
Yeah, Carol actually lived there for a while. So, but that was before I went there for work.
Yeah,
had a
I lived
staff
in Bayswater, just off of Queensgate.
Okay. Yeah, I usually stayed at the Belgravia Sheraton for years and years, and right over near what you call it, Harrods.
Mm-hmm.
I had a staff. Our office was in Soho on Wardour Street. I had a staff there, and that was our base for our European operation. So I would go over and meet with the staff there, and then we'd hop off to Germany or France or Norway. Or it was great. I got to see tremendous amount of Europe on Warner Brothers dime. So.
Hmm.
It's the United Nations Pavilion. Looks just like the one at Expo 85.
Yeah,
Really?
I saw mine off of Fifth Year Architecture School dime.
Yeah. It's Thailand. United States. Right in the back to the left there is Circle Vision, the little round building.
Mm-hmm. Gives you a sense of scale because that little brown building is dwarfed
Yep.
by the main building.
Soviet Union, talk about big. We've talked before about how they had to build part of this in the forest. And they weren't allowed to take out any of the trees inside of USSR here. It's had to be an expensive hobby for somebody back then. 16mm, the camera, the film, the developing. Look at that crowd out there. Wow. I have no idea what they're all listening to. We're up in the Atomium looking down. Now it's nighttime, obviously. The Expo symbol lit up along the upper walkway there. It's the Atomium all lighting up. The lights flashed in all sorts of patterns. I guess that I could ask AI to try to improve these. Now we're into downtown. I don't know if this is a seasonal light thing or what, because I don't remember anything like that when I was in Brussels. They sure went in for a lot of lights back then, didn't they?
Yeah. Wasn't Christmas time.
Then you can still see damage from the war. Again, it really puts it in perspective that, this is 1958, 14 years earlier, everybody was still blowing the crap out of each other. So you can still come up with all sorts of, pictures of ruins and things. But I think we actually go off to Berlin on this, if I remember right.
I was in England in 1966, 67, and you could still see bombed out buildings all
Wow.
over. I was born in 51, so I didn't really experience World War II. But it was real interesting. And my daughter was there a few years ago, and I asked her, do you still see those bombed out buildings? And she says, no, there's none of them. So
No, but there are signs on some of the buildings where, again, shell splinters and things like that.
yeah. Well, she
That,
didn't notice it, but that was interesting. And if you watch the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night, you can see bombed out buildings as they were filming that movie.
wow. Now, if I look at that, I believe that was the Russian flag up on top of that arch, and there's a sign here you were approaching the Russian sector.
Yeah, isn't that the building that the wall went right through,
I think so.
right through that archway? I think that's because that's where everybody used to cross across, and they were, flooding across before they got the wall built.
Octoon. Nobody recognizes this one. But wherever this is, they had a skyway.
I recall when I went into East Berlin from Checkpoint Charlie, that we were required to exchange a minimal amount of currency into marks, Eastern marks, and that it took forever for them to validate our passports. They took our passports and, like forever for them to come back. And you were thinking at the time, holy cow, I'm never going to leave this place alive.
Yeah. That had to be daunting.
Yeah, this was 1975, and there were still tensions. It was long before the wall came down.
Yeah, well,
It
you
was
were
interesting.
obviously a spy, and they wanted to make sure you weren't getting away with anything.
Well, it's
Well-
interesting in my job when I worked for the Navy, I had certain restrictions on my passport. One of the things was I was not allowed to go to any communist country, but were not allowed to go to Berlin, because to go to Berlin, you had to cross communist area to get there, and they didn't want any chance that you would get off the train or whatever on the way.
Well, when you're an American with a German name, they look twice at you.
Oh, I bet. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, Southern California, Real 79. Let's see where we go on this particular one. Oh, we're back to Marineland. different entrance sign than before.
Do you have a date on this one?
I think this is 58.
Yeah, that was probably before they got the whale.
Love the mid-century architecture. That's wonderful.
Not that it has anything to do with his presentation, but right now I hear the ice cream truck and its musical bell going on outside.
Well, go get us one. We'll bring
Yeah.
one for each.
I'll take a drumstick.
Why I tell you out here it's hot today. It's going to be over 100, but it's also much more humid than normal. So ice cream sounds very appealing. We were very happy. We were out on patrol yesterday, and it was the shortest patrol summary report that I think I've done in 12 years. Went out, drove around, came back, and we were very lucky. There were no collisions. There was nothing of anything. It was wonderful. But this surprised me. I have no idea why there's a giant band out there, because this was obviously not part of what they normally did out at Marineland. But there's quite a bit of footage of this band out playing. TV camera set up there, so I don't know what sort of special or whatever they were doing.
They would do TV shows out at Marineland. In 1965, they had the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
They had Chad and Jeremy, and I don't remember the other individuals. And there was a special TV show.
This could be it, because they just had synchronized swimmers in the seal pond there.
Mm-hmm. Crowds are very light.
What's that?
The crowds are light, I noticed. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of people in the stands.
Might have been one of those things that if they've done the same take 12 times, people gave up on it.
Whose idea was
also
it to have
could
a
have been
dolphin jump to a
midweek.
flaming hoop?
Sorry.
Sorry.
You're talking.
I was going to say it was probably midweek, because
Yeah.
Marineland really only got crowded on the weekends. I don't think it was ever crowded in midweek.
I want to get one of those boats for my dog.
Dog wants to go out in the middle of the night, put it in a boat and send it down into the pool.
Yeah.
Solve the coyote problem.
And I think we just end up in suburbia again. I think there's one or two more things here. Let's see. Yep, this is the last one. Well, actually, there's one more if we want to do it. We'll see. So we're driving the freeways. Look at that hood ornament there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's good stuff.
We're up. I believe we're going to San Francisco now. There we are. And like I said, unfortunately, they just great footage that they just didn't know how to work the camera settings on this thing. So it gets absolutely blown out. There's really nothing that's going to be able to be doable with this. I'm just jumping up to see if there was anything. Yeah, so we get into Chinatown. Oh, there's more of it.
Then night fell. Okay, there we go.
Now we go down to Pier 39 area.
Went the opposite way here.
Yeah. Some of these places all gone now.
Oh, yeah.
Pier 8.
Golden Gate?
In fog.
Just trying to see what else we have here. I don't know if there was anything else of interest on this. We go along beaches. Oh yeah, coming along here, we should come to the trees of mystery.
Oh, cool.
There we are. Paul Bunyan, and he's got Babe. He's got his axe and Babe's off. And there's the entrance. Carol and I just drove by this on our way up to Oregon. We didn't stop in and see the trees. Has anybody actually visited it?
I think I did as a kid.
Well, now you get to relive the kingdom of trees.
Never heard of it until you sent your email saying that it was one of the topics for this week. And so we had looked it up, and it looks really interesting. Andrew thought it looked a little bit like Rock City out here, kind of the same vibe as Rock City, but just a different. Yeah.
Looks like it. You know, Carol and I were just talking the other day about Rock City. We had gone there and enjoyed it. That was a fun spot to go to. Especially enjoyed the waterfall that's inside the cave there.
Right, Ruby Falls.
Yeah. You get quite a view. We were there on a nice day. I don't remember if there's anything else. Just more dark forest, looking up at the trees. Hey, who's getting ice cream?
That looks like a birthday present.
Yeah. Now I hear, let's do this one real quick. We're going to go to Arizona. I have no idea where Sand Hills is on the way to Arizona, but it seems well named, doesn't it? If I ever need to redo Lawrence of Arabia, I guess they're all set. Yeah, this was a disappointment. I bought the film and it was labeled Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Marineland, and 1958. Well, it turned out this was 1959, and it's all Arizona. At the end, though, there's some really neat shots of a blip. Been trying to figure out where it is. But we get to see Tombstone and the OK Corral. Lots of different cacti. Figure where that church is. I think so. A bunch of this might be in Tucson. It's funny the things I remember. Carol and I were a number of years ago in Tucson, and I'm terrible on names. But Sabino Canyon. Has anybody else ever been there? It's a beautiful nature area right outside of Tucson, with the water that comes down through it, and you know, so just a really beautiful area. You know, you got the desert all over the place, but you're in the mountains and a good supply of water. So a lot of people go out there to you know, to take advantage of it. But if you're ever in the Tucson area, Sabino Canyon is really well recommended.
Is that your camera, your scanner causing the film to jolt around like that?
No, that's just the way this guy's, you know, basically, if you're looking at it, look at the sprocket holes are moving. The picture is stabilized. So I stabilized it on the image, which made the film jump back and forth because he's driving there. And when he was driving, everything was moving. So now you see, now he's not driving. The image isn't moving around. So I'll crop that so when I'm done, you don't see all the jumping sprocket holes and stuff.
Oh, so you stabilized the film. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And here, again, I mentioned the Birdcage Theater. This looks just like the one in Knott's Berry Farm.
I was going to say, if that was your scanner, you better send back that $10,000 scanner that you just bought.
No, God, it's hard to believe how many years I've had it now, but unfortunately, the company's out of business, so if it breaks, I'm scared. Every time I turn the switch on, I feel like, am I cutting the green wire or the blue wire in a bond?
Yeah, when that goes, you're gonna have a problem.
Luckily, I run the support group online for it, and there's a few people who have done a pretty good job of reverse engineering and figuring out solutions to most of the issues now. So the biggest problem these things have had are the clutches on them. And a guy now took the clutches apart, made 3D printing. And another guy in England said, well, okay, I actually had a set of them made out of aluminum so that they should last even longer. So I'm negotiating with him to get a spare set just in case. I don't think I've ever been to Tombstone.
Oh, it's fun. I mean, it is what it is, but
Recreations of the shootout, I'm sure.
At the Autry Museum, they have a piece of paper where Wyatt Earp wrote down what happened at the OK Corral, and you still don't know what happened at the OK.
yeah. I
Hard
wouldn't
to
trust
read.
Wyatt's
And
interpretation very
I
much.
have a picture from a historical magazine of the Clantons and the Earps drinking together, and they had their picture taken. So
Oh, wow.
whatever was going on, they at one time were friendly, but they knew each other.
Yeah.
And I don't think Wyatt Earp ever explained it.
There
So
was a giant copper mine there, open pit copper mine. And now we're driving through New Mexico.
It's funny, I visited Tombstone when I was a teenager with my family, and they had in the OK Corral, they had these mannequins set up reenacting the gunfight, but somebody had taken all the guns out of their hands.
Oh,
There were all these guys very seriously pointing at each other.
yeah, well, it only took about, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
oh, we go along. There's a bunch of ocean scenes here, seals and out. They're skipping through this.
We must be going up the West Coast.
Yeah.
Just skip to the pretty girls section, and then we'll be done with it.
Oh, okay. That's Carol's home videos.
Well, we'll need to see those.
Alcatraz. That was back when it was closed after being a prison, but not yet a park.
All right.
Actually, when was this film made, Bill?
This one was I'd have to look it up. I'm sorry.
It may still be a prison at this point, looking at the car.
I think, yeah, looking at the cars, I think it still was an active prison.
Mm-hmm.
I think again. Oh, this is 59. 59.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did Alcatraz close? Let's see. If you haven't taken the tour that gone through Alcatraz, if you're ever in San Francisco, it's worth doing. It's fascinating.
Oh yeah, fascinating.
Used to do a nighttime tour. I don't know if they still do, but that was really interesting to go out there at night.
That would be. Let's see some boring zoo pictures.
1969. It closed in 63. So, yep, it was still active then. Where is this?
Don't know where this is. It looks like in this case somebody took out a fire hydrant.
No,
I mean,
we're
that
in
looks like-
Yellowstone, can't you tell?
Yeah, it looks like Old Faithful. No, definitely not.
jet of water in a lake, but I can't tell you how many accidents I've responded to that look just like this. Now this blimp, I got a kick out of. I don't know whose it is or where it is. We'll get some closer shots to it. I don't think it's going to fit in that hangar. Join the General Reserve, be a Naval Aviation Cadet. Oh,
That's probably one of the Navy ones.
yeah, join the U.S. Naval Reserve. Okay, be a Naval Aviation.
Yep.
Yeah.
You too can be a blimp pilot.
Always wanted to go on a blimp, and I haven't worked that out yet.
I was at University of Texas. I was staying in a dormitory on the 25th floor, and we had a view out over the stadium. And one day I looked out the window and not the Cotton Bowl, but the Arkansas game was being held. Big thing back in those days. I looked out the window and I looked right at the Goodyear blimp. It was flying right by. Never thought I'd see it that close.
We have the Goodyear blimp base here right up the street. See it flying around all the time here in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh,
I took
cool.
my son. Yeah, it's nice. I took my son there. I don't know. He's 30, but I guess when he was 5 or 6, they had a Saturday where you could come tour the blimp, and nobody ever went up in it, but you were at least to be able to go into the hangar and walk around and see everything, and then go inside the cabin and the cockpit there and sit inside to see what it was like. Yeah, it was thrilling for him at 5 years old, but we see it all the time down here.
Well, years ago, I went, let me stop share. We were in Florida and I was flying a P-51 Mustang, and it was great fun. And we were coming into land, and we were at Kissimmee Airport, and the Goodyear blimp was in the pattern. So the tower said, "Be advised, the blimp's in the the pattern." We said, "Okay, I don't think there'll be a problem." But I went, I made a pass around the blimp, came down, did a touch and go, went back up, made another pass around the blimp, came down. But next time I shot past the blimp, came in and landed. So I thought that was great fun. Well, my dad and I were in the bar that night, and these two guys came in wearing Goodyear jackets, and they were sitting down. I said, "Oh, you guys up in the blimp today?" And the guy said, "Oh yeah, we had a really great time." And this P-51 came and strafed us. And I said, "Oh, that was me." And it just proof you're never happy. They would say, "Oh man, I wish I was in the P-51." I go, "Oh man, I wish I was in the blimp." So,
Two very different aircraft.
oh yeah, very different.
I've got a quick question for Wayne. Wayne, you posted a thing last week for the house tour from the Century of Progress, I think it was, fair. A
Yes.
link. I think it was you.
Yes.
Somebody yeah. And I was wondering, it looks like it can only be viewed. I need to download an app onto my phone. Apparently there's no app for the home computer. I don't know if there's any way to, because it keeps, every time I click on it, it says, download this app.
Yep.
Then it says, are you on an Apple or are you on an Android phone? And it's like, no, I'm not on a phone. I'm on my computer.
Oh, I don't know about an app for that.
Have you
sorry.
watched it on your computer?
No, I haven't. I've actually
Okay.
toured it in person twice.
Yeah, well, you had posted that film that I assumed was a film taking you through a tour of the homes, and I wanted to watch it, and I couldn't get the thing to work. I don't want to sit there and look at it on some little tiny screen. I want to see it on at least the bigger screen of a computer. So
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what the deal is.
yeah, no, it's from the national park system, because it's a national park there. The dunes, right? Isn't that a national park?
Yes.
Yeah, and so apparently they don't have a way of viewing it there. You have to download an app onto your phone.
Huh.
And so, okay. Just thought I'd ask in case you had found a way to look at it.
Brock, post that again.
I would go to
What's that?
YouTube.
Post it again.
I'll try to here. Hang on a second. Let me see. I got to go find it, and let me minimize
last
that.
week's chat log got destroyed when I got knocked off. But,
Yeah, that's right.
You could also probably go to YouTube and find. I'm sure somebody's done footage or videos of it.
Okay, let's see here. Meeting. There it is.
Yeah, I didn't know there's a video. I just, did a quick look up and posted the little link.
All right,
Well, I'm
let's
not
see
sure.
what-
Yeah, it's apparently a video that you can watch. And or it might be like a slideshow. I don't know, but you can only do it by downloading an app onto your phone and watching it on your phone.
1 hour.
So
Century of Progress home tours. Download the NPES app for iOS or for Android.
Yeah.
More tours.
I just put the link back up there.
Yeah.
From last week.
It almost looks like it's intended to be like a tour that you would take, like the audio portion of a tour.
Yeah.
At that site.
It could be. I just assumed it was a film of that because it shows a picture of the house. And then it says, download it to your Android. I thought it said to view. Download app to your Android or Apple phone.
Yeah, I think that's but I think you're probably viewing it and it says, okay, while you're here, go look there to your left, to your right.
All right.
Oh, it says, okay, they have an annual tour the last week of September. So but this year is sold out. The tickets were released on August 3rd and they immediately sold out with the wait list at full capacity. So I would guess you need to start looking for 2027 and start thinking about it. But yeah, if you go on YouTube, I'm just looking here. There's a whole bunch of things on YouTube with tours that people have taken in prior years.
Oh, okay. All right,
Super,
I'll try that then.
Super popular though. Like I said, the tickets sold out within a day, and the wait list filled up. So can't go there.
Yeah, I just opened it on my phone, and it opens up like the mapping app and sort of shows where you are on the map. So I think that's how it's intended to be used.
All right, I'll go to YouTube, see what I can find.
Yeah. Well, Carol and I were we took a cruise about 2 years ago. So Carol, we went up to Maine and all that. We went to some of the big houses, the Breakers and that sort of thing in Rhode Island.
Yeah, was that 2 years ago? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was 2
But
years ago. But they had a whole.
Oh, that
bunch
was
of
the cruise.
tours.
That was when we did the cruise.
Right. Yeah. But it was pretty good because you could download the free tour and walk around the house, and it would say walk into room, the next room, and when you get there, push the button. You're now in the grand salon. This is where they did this, and then you walk in the next one. This is where the scullery maids peeled the potatoes. So it was it was a great way to see it, and be able to look around. Some of it was pretty neat because they would have 360-degree views of different things at different times and recreations with old footage and stuff mixed in. So anyway, hope folks enjoyed going back to 1958. Disneyland was a lot less crowded back then, and certainly the Arizona desert was a lot less crowded, I'm sure. Actually, it's probably still pretty empty.
Disneyland was cheaper too.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we go, Bill sent me a high-res scan of the aerial shot where we were looking for that weird fountain in 1933, and I did definitely identify it. So let me see if I can share.
Yeah, I'll make you co-host here 1 second. I don't want the power to go to your head. There you go, Wayne.
Okay.
Oh, and Kenneth, before we go, I wanted to ask you something.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the fountain right there. Yeah.
Yeah. You see my cursor?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was it when we were looking at it, because when we saw that later picture that showed in the background the huts, there's one to the right and another one farther down to the left. I think we were seeing those in the background.
Yeah, previously we got some pictures that barely showed a hut, but the one it was showing was this bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to post this, but I had trouble posting pictures this morning, so I have to figure out why that is.
Oh, glad we narrowed it down.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, Ken, real quick, I was saw a headline yesterday about NASA trying to save a satellite, and I guess it's one that's been up there for quite a while, and they launched this thing that was supposed to grab onto it and lift it up, but I guess it's spinning around, and they're trying to stop the spinning on it. So they ought to call you in and get you to fix it.
Yeah, I think it's the rescuer satellite that's spinning, right? If I
Yeah.
understand. The original Swift observatory is what they're trying to grab onto, and I guess that's stable. I only saw the headline this morning about the rescue craft being in trouble or being in safe mode, and they were trying to get out of it.
Yeah, I was reading the story yesterday. I guess the first couple of days of provisioning and extending the panels and everything were going okay. And then they said, I think it has what they call 3 control wheels on it, and 2 of them malfunctioned, so it was spinning. And they were saying that they reduced the rate of spin, I think from like 12 revolutions per second to a 2 revolution. I mean, that's still pretty damn fast, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the NASA guy was trying to say, oh, we're making great progress on this. And then later down, they said at the rate they're going, by the time they finally stabilize it, the satellite will be too low to do anything anyway. But it's still pretty impressive that they're trying to do it. And I'm real hopeful that they're able to work it out. They said they were sending new firmware up to, to try to stabilize it.
Oh, it's a software error, huh?
That's what they were well, I guess maybe sometimes your hardware fails and you have to come up with a software solution. Something you'd be familiar with.
Fix it in the software. That's what we've been doing on Hubble since 2009.
Yeah.
Since we can't get back up there.
Yeah, no, it's just, I mean, it's pretty impressive what they did was, from the time that they decided to do this, build the satellite and launched it, was something like 9 months. It was really a very fast-tracked effort. So, again, they probably only known it's failing for 10 years, but let's wait to the last minute to try to salvage it.
But I think when you do a fast build like that, you're just accepting the risk that things might not work. You give it a try, kind of like a Hail Mary pass of sorts.
Yeah, but it's again too bad they didn't try this 3 years ago, where if the first one didn't work, you could set up another one.
Yep. Things have changed a lot in the last 3 years.
Oh yeah.
No comment.
We had some interruptions to normal operations, shall we say?
Yeah. But it's just kind of fascinating, though, the thought of sending this thing up, it could grab onto it, lift it up, and something like out of the old Thunderbirds TV series. International Rescue.
Yep.
I see they just came out with a complete new disc set for Thunderbirds. I don't know if it's DVD or Blu-ray or what, but I've seen it advertised in a couple of spots.
Yeah, I've seen it too, and I don't know how many copies of Thunderbirds I already have. What I need is just one more. Oh, it was really funny. Real quick aside, we went out the other day, and we had the thing called National Night Out, and the police department puts on a big thing, and we do a screening of a movie and that. But they had the big inflatable screen in the park and everything. And when we were setting up, all of a sudden I said, "Oh, that music is familiar," and they were playing the theme from Doctor Who. So I said that they must have thought I was there. Well, it turned out that the loop didn't last all that long. So about every hour we got the theme for Doctor Who coming by, and it would be funny because it would start and you could see people, what song is that? And I said, "Oh, it's Doctor Who," and then all of a sudden you're in a discussion with people about the doctors, which one. And I think we talked about on this talk before when Carol asked her about her favorite doctor. we were in Death Valley, and we were waiting for the tour guide to start, and the tour guide asked Carol, "Who's your favorite doctor?" She goes, "I don't know, my rheumatologist."
That's
she's-
because I was wearing a Doctor Who sweater.
Ah.
Yeah.
I've been loving the references to Doctor Who and Strange New Worlds.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't seen it. Yeah.
There's Carol Kane plays a character, and they're called can't remember her name. Anyways, Carol Kane, you know, kind of the outlandish
Yeah.
person to start with, and no matter what role she's in. And they were seeing this beautiful, gorgeous thing in one of the episodes in the current season, and she said, "I think I've seen this once a long time ago, but I was in a phone booth."
Yeah.
I heard, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
So
she is a
Brock-
very interesting character. She always reminds me of the wife of in Princess Bride when they went to see
Yeah.
oh,
Well, that was her, right? It
Oh, was that
Carol Kane.
her? Okay, I didn't
I think
realize.
it
Yeah,
was, yeah.
Yeah.
she's just like her.
Well, it's funny. I'm watching here an old DVD set of Doctor Who. I think it's the 16th year or whatever, and it's really interesting the extras on it because this particular story is written by the same guy that did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, and in it it's this pirate planet, and there's a typical overblown British BBC pirate, and he's got a mechanical parrot on his shoulder. And I said to myself, "Oh, gee, that's like the mechanical parrot that was on what you call Lost in Space in an episode." So you watch the documentary, and here's the British guy, very famous science fiction author. And he says, "Yeah," I said, "when I did that show, I was thinking of it. One I liked watching up was called Lost in Space." So he just stole, 10 years later, this guy's got this mechanical parrot because he's a pirate, and of course, if you're a space age pirate, you have to have a robot. But it was just weird being out there, and every hour we would hear the theme for Doctor Who. Baron, you had your hand up?
Kept looking for the TARDIS, huh?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Thank you, Bill. Ken, I would like to ask you about the encased model behind you. Did you build that? Is that a replica?
No, that's actually up there in homage to Rob Bianco, who passed away recently. Those two models, the Ford Pavilion and the Carousel of Progress, were both built by Rob. He built these handmade, meticulous reproductions that I think these are 1:600 scale of pavilions from the fair. You could commission him to make whatever pavilion you wanted. And he did that for years. Also did a complete model of the entire fair like he had done when he was a kid, but he did it in recent years, and it was commissioned and bought by somebody out in Hollywood, who we all have guesses, but they don't want to say who it is because they don't want people, barging in on his house or whatever. But he did spectacular stuff, but he passed away just a couple of weeks ago, very suddenly.
Wasn't he a guest on here?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Rob was a really nice guy. I would send him all sorts of pictures that he would use for his reference material, and then return I got a very nice model of the New York State Pavilion from the 64
wow.
fair. And Rob was a really he was unbelievable the detail that he did, because all these things are done by hand, and the little people outside the little telephone booths, and it's really very meticulous. And this other guy, Greg Buraca, was making a documentary. So Greg came out and met with me and Carol, and I took him for a tour of the Disney studios and that. But he was on one of our talks about just about 3 weeks ago, and right after the talk ended, my phone rang, and he had the bad news that Rob had passed away. During the talk, he had gotten a call from Rob's wife to let him know, and so he had dropped off. But like I said, we finished, and the phone rang when he called to tell me, "You could have knocked me over with a proverbial feather." I mean, it was I guess real sharp, real short and unexpected. So Rob was a really nice guy and extremely talented. That guy that has the big model, by the way, Ken, used a whole bunch of my pictures for his screen and everything, and he never asked me. So if you know who the guy is, tell him I want to come over and get a tour.
I have a guess that it's one of the two people that did most of the Marvel movies. I don't
Yeah.
think it's Kevin Feige is one of the comes to mind. I think it's the other guy
Yeah.
whose name is escaping, but I have no proof of any of that. Just he's got the money, he's got the technology to do all the lighting and the screens are not. There's a video on YouTube of the completed model, and you
Yeah.
can see all the extra work he did on top of the model to
Yeah.
do the spotlighting and take the soundtrack from the World's Fair version of the tour, and
Yeah.
it's extraordinary.
Yeah, you have the Lowell Thomas narration and that. But the model then lifts up and it's got another model underneath it, and it's all
Yeah,
the
the other
stuff.
one is a more like country fair kind of thing,
Yeah.
I think.
Right. Fascinating stuff.
One other thing, the Tucson church that we saw was the Cathedral of St. Augustine, which is inside the city, and it gets confused for Mission San Xavier del Bac, but St. Augustine Church has symmetrical towers, and the Mission San Xavier has two different towers. And
Oh,
one
okay.
of the very interesting things is they're restoring Mission San Xavier, which has had restoration attempts over the years, but they found that the concrete they used to restore the towers was sealing in moisture and ruining the timber structure underneath. And now they're replacing it with plaster, which was the original material, plaster made with cactus juice.
Oh,
Huh.
serious. You know, brought back when you mentioned Tucson memory. Again, anybody ever go to Tucson, go to a restaurant that's there called Piccolo Pete's? It's funny, the names that stick in with, but they warn you when you go there, do not wear a tie, because the waiter will come by and he will cut your tie off and they'll nail it to the rafters. So when I moved out here in 1976, I came home with a guy named Dave Hinsel, and we drove all the way across country together, and we got to Albuquerque. He had to turn around and go back to a wedding, but he wore a tie, and we were visiting friends in Tucson that I used to know when we lived on Long Island. They swore to me, you can't wear a tie to this restaurant. Well, Dave wore the tie. Well, he got there and they went to cut the tie, and the tie was made out of Mylar and it wouldn't cut. So it basically gave Dave the option to take off the tie and donate it, or they were going to nail him to the rafters. So if you ever go to Piccolo Pete's, there's at least one Mylar tie nailed to the rafters up there. But he had come all the way across country, he'd heard about this place, and he was just waiting and waiting. And he, you know, we were at GE, we had all this neat material and stuff. He made a Mylar tie. It was great fun.
I just put up a picture of San Xavier behind me that from a visit to Tucson. But then while I was doing that, we got corrected that wasn't what we were looking at. But here's what here's the confirmation of what San Xavier looks like.
Great.
Yeah, I think the screenshot I had didn't have the tops of the tower, so I could see the difference now. But it was interesting because the picture that we showed, that middle section looks darker like it does here. And when I looked at the pictures of St. Augustine, it looks more similar. So that's interesting.
Well, it's just too bad that, you know, people didn't label. Every now and then you do get a film where somebody was very, very meticulous as far as, you know, taking 13 seconds or so of a sign that says, you know, so and such. And then I've got one of Yellowstone where the guy is, you know, got the name of every single geyser, mud pot, you know, whatever. But other times you just see something and go like, whoa, where is that? Now, again, when it says Tucson Federal Savings, you can try to figure out where it is. But something, the trouble with Google Images was like, you can put up a picture and it will, you know, it doesn't tell you that it's a 10% probability. It just states with 100% fact, this is a picture of so and such, you know, and you know, with people, it gets them wrong so much. It's it becomes next to unusable. But
Mhm.
I've used it to try to figure out where this is, and every now and then, because I've been trying to restore a bunch of my parents' old pictures. So they were trips I was not on, and they'll be a picture of my dad standing in front of some church or something. Put it in there, and it identifies it, and it's gonna, yep, damn it, that's it. So when it's right, it's really good. But I just wish it would tell you there's a 2% probability as opposed. Well, that's a picture of so and such. Well, lunchtime out here. I hope people don't melt or whatever, and flood or whatever. It's all sorts of weather in lots of different parts of the country, and we're going to be hot and humid out here for the next couple of days. So I guess if I'm looking around the office, I think today's going to be a day to put away all the reels of film that are stacked around here.
You ever get your phone working, Bill?
Oh God, no. Oh, when I was watching that GTE commercial, my blood pressure was going up because GTE became Frontier, which is who I am now. But at 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning, they are supposed to be out here to disconnect the GTE Frontier phone and connect it to Spectrum. But let's just for fun, if I push the button here in the speakerphone, dial tone, dial a number. Boop beep, and it goes boop beep and disconnects. So for the last 2 weeks I've had a dial tone. Put the dial tone, I can't actually dial anything, and they go, yeah, we can't get that fixed until we fix everything else. They're obviously just screwing with you to try to get off of copper. Can you forward my line? No, we can't do that. So I mean, I've been paying $122 a month for the thing. The alarm now is on a cellular connection, and now I'll get rid of that landline, and then I'm so pissed at Verizon, I'll probably think about getting rid of the Verizon cell phone. So it's just a crappy way to treat it. I mean, I'm spending $300 a month with these guys. You'd think they would, think you were an okay customer. No.
Yeah.
So Wednesday morning at 8, the guy's supposed to be here, and keep your fingers crossed. If this talk is not next week because I'm in prison for manslaughter, you'll know why. Oh, I mean, just trying to get to get Frontier to release my line to go over to Spectrum took a 45-minute multi-party conversation the other day where I finally had to say, okay, so where do you want the lawsuit materials delivered to? I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, but Wednesday at 8, fingers crossed.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we can start, all the spam calls will start again, so.
That GTE film reminded me of Pat Harrington Jr. in The President's Analyst.
Oh God. Oh, that's a great movie, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just the way he was talking. It was just that particular scene when he had captured James Colburn.
Does anybody know about the movie The President's Analyst? It's a great movie. James Coburn gets a job as the analyst for the President of the United States. And they don't want anybody to know that he's the analyst because they don't want anybody to know the president needs an analyst. But they set up in a really posh apartment, and they put a tunnel between his apartment and the White House. And he's at first thinks this is great, except the phone keeps ringing, and the phone would be like the same sort of phone you had in our man Flint. And the Marine Guards would drive him down to the White House, and he'd come back. He'd be in the middle of a dinner date, and the phone would ring. So he finally decides he needs to escape from the White House, and they don't want him to because he's got all the president's secrets up in his head. So he goes into the tour of people taking the White House, and he escapes, and he thinks he's all set. So he's out in the middle of nowhere, and he goes into a phone booth to make a phone call, and the door of the phone booth shuts, and he can't make the phone call, and now the door won't open. So he's getting frantic. He can't get out of this phone booth, and this big truck pulls up with a phone logo on the side, TPC, the phone company. And they pick up the entire phone booth onto the thing, take them they take them to an underground complex, still in the phone booth, and they take them in there. And there's Pat Harrington. You're probably wondering why we brought you here today. Yeah, the thought had occurred to me. And they have come up with the idea, and it's really presaging all the stuff with copper problems today. Do you know how expensive it is to run wires out to everybody's house? And they had this little device they want to plant in everybody's brain that you can make phone calls, and the animation comes on, and the little guys are happily sending messages back and forth. And we just need you to convince the president of this. And he goes, "Oh, I can't do that." He goes, "Well, I think when we're done with you here, you'll do that." So he now decides to escape from this place with the help of a Russian agent who's been following him. And you find out he goes over to Pat Harrington. He's got a 3/4 inch jack in his heel. He's just a robot that's been carrying all of that. But the entire world now is the Russians and Americans are combating forces to do battle against TPC. Did I do justice to that, Baron?
Yeah, you did actually. You really told the whole story. Now no one has to go see the movie, but I'm actually a bit shocked here that Wayne, Don, Brock, perhaps you, Ken, maybe Beth, you don't know the movie?
No.
Oh, you gotta go see
I
it.
need to watch
Come
it.
on now. It was done in 67, 68. I mean, it's a film of that time. I mean, we were all, youth at the time, but you don't know that movie? Holy cow. Yeah. I don't know if it's on YouTube. It may be on YouTube, but, oh yeah, it's a great movie. And of course, again, it was that little GTE commercial that you ran, which immediately made me, think of the movie and Pat Harrington in it. So,
it's got this great animated sequence. Like I said,
yes, yeah.
We could do away with all the wires and the poles and the trucks, and with the little character, he's there and he's beepity beep, and there's somebody else in their head, oh beepity beep, and the beepity beeping back and forth together. They're having a great time. And it says, but then you as the phone company can listen in on what people are thinking, and oh, we would do that. We're the phone company. If you're into conspiracy type things, it's a great movie. And me being a phone freak in college and everything, that movie was like our Bible. We loved it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, go see it if you haven't seen it. You'll enjoy it.
Just added to my movie list on my phone. I'll go hunt it up.
The President's Analyst, yeah.
Yeah, it's really a great one. I'm glad there's somebody besides me, Barrett, that liked it.
Oh yeah, no, I've known it for years. I mean, I've known it for years, and I mean, I've downloaded it. I have it on my computer here somewhere. I probably last watched it, maybe 2 years ago. But again, when you first ran that commercial, that spot, it immediately made me think of that. And of course, it just kind of forgot about it until we were talking about your phone company again. I was going to say, Bill, I got rid of Verizon 3 years ago because I hated them. They were terrible. Their bills were high. So, and I needed to replace my phones anyhow. They were getting rid of 3G. So I went over to Metro by T-Mobile, picked up 3 iPhone SEs for free to convert my line and my folks' lines at $30 a month. That's what I've been paying. So you may want to consider that.
Yeah, our problem is I'm up in the hills here, and our cell phone service is very, very sporadic. When they first came out to put the alarm system on Wi-Fi, the guy had quite a problem, and they had to get a different module with a different SIM card for another vendor. Because we had, for years, we had AT&T wireless, and you'd be in the middle of talking to somebody sitting here at your desk, and it would just go dead. That sort of thing. And then we had all sorts of problems with so we switched from them to Sprint. And matter of fact, it's still on the bottom of my my webpage, billcotter.com. There's a whole thing in there. Why friends don't let friends go to Sprint. So Sprint is gone now, but I mean, we're really held hostage up here. Verizon is about the best signal that we can have up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you looked into Spectrum at all? Because I think they use the Verizon system.
Yeah,
and they are cheaper.
I talked to, that was one of it's funny you mentioned that. The Spectrum guy the other day was having all sorts of issues, having to get supervisors involved to deal with the people from Frontier. And he was like, well, why have you? Could I talk to you about Spectrum Cell? I said, no, you can't. I said, the only thing you do is get my phone to work, but I'll make you a deal. If you get this to work, I will certainly look into getting the Spectrum phone. If you give me your name and number when I call, I'll make sure you get credit for it. All of a sudden, he got very motivated to get the next tier of support on the line to get, and I got the problem resolved. So Darren just said waiting for Starlink. The trouble with some of these things is if you've seen what they've done with Starlink for people that use it for satellite, for internet access, they all of a sudden have said, oh, you're going way over your limit and you're going to raise your bills tremendously. So people have had, you come in with something like Starlink with a low price offer, and then next thing you know, it's, got up 300, 400%. So I was actually talking to one of our drone operators for the LAPD at our National Night Out, and the drones use cell things in there for precise navigation. And we were saying that up where we live, the drones can't really fly up here because of the cell service is so bad. But he told me something that was real interesting, because the commander in charge of drones was one of my old captain. And he said, oh, the drones all now have ballistic parachutes on them, because they had one drone lose its signal and it dropped out of the sky. Luckily didn't hit anybody. So now they come down, because these things are big sized drones. They're about this big. So you get 50 pounds dropping on your head from 800 feet, it would be good. But he said, yeah, what happened on that, they were flying it over the Dodger game during the World Series, and everybody had their cell phone out, and all the cell towers are so saturated, the drone lost sight of where it was and said, I better land, and it came down real fast. So now they have multi-SIM cards and parachutes and everything to try to keep that from happening. So crazy stuff. Well, I'm going to go take Carol to lunch, and then I'm going to put away movies. So hope people have a good week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Bill.
Next week, Bill.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.